Hey fans, Jason Ciani here with Greg Lawless for MLSsoccer.com. We're a quarter of a way through the MLS season, taking a look at the Budweiser Golden Boot race and where it stands. And Greg, when you look at the top of the list, Clint Dempsey is there, and he is certainly playing very well.
Well, 7 of his 8 goals came in the month of April, an undefeated month for Seattle in that one. Right behind him, Cubo Torres from Chivas USA. Behind him, a surprise here, Bradley Wright-Phillips from the New York Red Bulls.
All right, there are also 8 players tied at 4 goals, so not too far behind the leaders. But talking about that leader, Clint Dempsey, playing very well, Greg. He's kind of doing it all for the Seattle Sounders. What's going right for him?
Well, I think there are a couple things to take into account. One is his fitness. He didn't play too many games with Fulham when he was on loan in England, so he was able to train and really get fit and get sharp with his touch. The second thing, it's chemistry with Obafemi Martins. Martins is playing the playmaker for him now and taking up a lot of space, allowing Dempsey to then make that run into the box to finish.
All right, you also have to notice when you look at this list, I mean, for some people, Cubo Torres is a surprise. I know he's not a surprise for you.
Well, he scored a ton of goals last year, so no surprise there.
But there are surprises on this list, including Bradley Wright-Phillips.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't have expected him to be this high.
Yeah, given some of the chances that he didn't complete last year, I think people are a little surprised. But the big surprise here is Thierry Henry, the way he's playing. And I think that's the key for Wright-Phillips, because Henry is setting him up, whether it's for that final assist or making a play in the midfield, unlocking the defense, which Bradley Wright-Phillips eventually finishes.
Some other surprises here. Quincy Amarikwa, Vicente Sanchez, Fabian Espindola, up pretty high on this list. Do you think these are guys who can keep it up all season and be there in October when the season ends?
Well, I don't think Sanchez is. Those are all penalties that he's gotten in that one. Amarikwa is an interesting one because he looks very confident. Defenses are keying on McGee, and that's opening up space and chances for Amarikwa. Can he keep it up? I don't know, because now defenses will start to say, we need to stop Amarikwa. Espindola is also an interesting one because he's playing the way he did when he was in Salt Lake. He's floating, he's free, he's taking on defenders. That kind of confidence from a player like Espindola can be a game changer for the club, but also for him. I do expect that he will be in the running come October.
Well, interestingly enough, Fabian Espindola's strike mate, Eddie Johnson, who many people thought would be on this list for the Golden Boot by the end of the season, he is yet to find net, Greg. Is it panic time for Eddie Johnson?
A panic time, I don't know, but he just doesn't look hungry out there. And it's really surprising, Jason, considering this is a World Cup year. You would think this is a player who's on the fringe trying to do everything he can to get onto Jurgen Klinsmann's team. But he's just not scoring. He doesn't look confident out there, and that's huge. We talk about goal scorers and their mentality. Right now, it doesn't look like EJ has that.
Other guys missing from the list, Mike McGee, Chris Wondolowski, and Jermaine Defoe, 2 guys trying to make the World Cup, want to score some goals and get back in form. Greg, how is the World Cup going to factor into this Golden Boot race?
Well, a couple of ways. The biggest one, of course, is missed games. Clint Dempsey's going to miss at least 5 games. Alvaro Saborio is going to miss 6 games for Real Salt Lake. So can they compensate and score enough goals either before or after in order to be part of the Golden Boot race? That's the question. The other thing is, when they come back from the World Cup, can they fit back in with the chemistry? Are they going to be a little bit tired from all that travel and all the games that they played down in Brazil? And the second thing is their clubs have had to continue and build a different chemistry. How do they reinsert themselves? That's the question.
That'll be very interesting, especially for Dempsey with what the Sounders have there. All right, Greg, it's time to get the crystal ball out. Now, looking ahead to the end of the MLS season in October, who do you think, how are you handicapping this race? Who do you think will be at top of the charts when the season ends?
Well, I'm going to actually say 2 players that are going to be in the running for it. One is Bradley Wright-Phillips. I think that the way Thierry Henry is playing right now, he's going to score a lot more goals. And the guy who I think will ultimately win it, Robbie Keane from the LA Galaxy. First of all, he's a clinical finisher. We all know that. Secondly, he hasn't played as many games as anyone anyway right now. And the third part is when the Galaxy start rolling at the second half of the season, the way they always do, he's going to be the beneficiary and he's going to start pumping him into the back of the net.
All right, what a race that would be if it did come down to those two. You have East Coast, West Coast, you have the favorite and the dark horse. But of course, Clint Dempsey probably going to have something to say about it, Greg. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Who will win the 2014 MLS Budweiser Golden Boot?